San Miguel TV, Shalom. Do you believe in the flat earth model or spherical model? Excellent question. I don't subscribe to a flat earth model from today's perspective. However, the ancient worldview of how the world was shaped was a dome-shaped model, right? It was a circular flat earth, if you want to call it that, with a dome that covers it, right? That's how they looked at it. Even if you go to Bereshit chapter 1, where it talks about the firmament in the heavens, that is something that is hammered out or fixed into a particular position in almost of a dome type structure. All right, so that's the worldview of them back then, and I understand that worldview. So when I dive into the text, I understand the text based on their perspective. However, when looking in contemporary times, I have a different perspective, and I try to find a way to harmonize the two, because you can do that. That's perspective. However, when looking in contemporary times, I have a different perspective, and I try to find a way to harmonize the two, because you can do that. That's the objective, to holistically harmonize the two.
I mean, divine prospect. All right, Shalom. This is Har 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, Layahawa, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakar Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nakwate, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. Hey, man, off the rip, my straight up opinion of divine prospect, he's a false prophet. Straight off the rip. I've been seeing him for years now, and there's so many things you can pick apart about his doctrine. And you got to watch these people that are full of words, but they're not edifying anybody. They'll talk for hours. They have all kinds of seminars and debates. Scripture never told us to debate for money and shit like that. To make a career out of this. You make a lifestyle out of it. This is your career, meaning business, but we get paid our reward spiritually. One, you're not supposed to be teaching with a kufi or kippah on top of the head. This guy teaches everywhere with that shit on his head. It's a lot of things I'm not gonna pick out about him personally too much, but yeah, man, this dude wicked, man. Now he's teaching that the earth is kind of flat. He said it's flat, but it's not flat. He said he want to harmonize the two ideas, not their old way of looking at the earth being flat, but the more modern way of looking at the earth being flat. Like, oh my goodness, man. And it's clear that, let me get this real quick. All right, you heard this guy, Divine Prospect, spew out of his sepulcher that he calls a mouth, or, a brain. And he said, that the earth is not specifically flat like they try to say in the ancient times, but it's more so a dome flat, or whatever the hell he's talking about. And he said he subscribes to that more, and he want to harmonize with that thought or that philosophy. Now, let's see what because you had a lot of debate going on about that in the ancient Greek times. In Babylon, they knew the earth was round. Arabia, they knew the earth was round. Ancient Greece, a lot of the scholars and philosophers, they knew the earth was round. And they were challenging these damn pagans that would pop up with this satanic thought, saying that the earth is flat. They kept trying to push that, even back in the Greek times, even during the Roman times. So I think it was a guy named Rip Van Winkle. We're going to read about it real quick. He the one that started that damn lie here in America. And the Christians picked up on it and added it to a lot of their doctrine. All right, which is pagan. Obvious, it says what? Obvious to the ancients. See, he always try to bring up ancient times. See, somebody say, yeah, in the ancient times. Now you gotta say, where did they believe this at? Show me. And he's like, all right, I'll show you. Well, show me somebody else. Now I'm gonna show you some people that were battling those same guys back then. All right, a little background, just one example of someone who thought that the earth is a globe, all right, which would be true, was the Greek mathematician Pythagoras from the 6th century BC. you know. So this goes back before we even fell in 586. So it goes back during the time of Assyria and the establishment of the Babylonian Empire. All right, Babylon got established in 605, really 627, but with Nebuchadnezzar in 605 BC. All right. So it says, though we don't have a record of his reasons, another example is Aristotle, who lived in the 4th century BC. All right, and that was going into the time of basically the Greek Empire. All right, when the Greek Empire was about to be established, you know, and I think you had it was called the Independent State of Israel around that time after John Hyrcanus. All right, so now it says another example is Aristotle, who lived in the 4th century BC and gave several sound reasons based on observation why the earth must be a sphere. All right, ditto for Ptolemy, who wrote in the early 2nd century AD. All right, between them, another famous Greek, Eratosthenes, accurately measured the Earth's circumference around 200 BC. All right, all these sources, right around 200 BC, that was around almost around the time the Apocrypha was written. All right, now it says none other than Washington Irving, and that's who these people are following after. Are they pushing that flat Earth doctrine or partial flat Earth or harmonizing with it? You know, scriptures say that, man. You're not supposed to. You can't blend light with darkness. It says none other than Washington Irving, the famous American author of Rip Van Winkle, invented the flat Earth myth. See, he brought it back over here to America in his popular biography of Columbus, 1828. All right, where he felt it necessary to embellish the facts to make the story more interesting. Okay, so he embellished it. He twisted the facts a little bit. All right. Let me get this real quick. Hopefully it don't take too long. 1 second, bear with me. I'm gonna get this. Embellish. Let's get the meaning of embellish. I just want to be specific. All right, the verb embellish means to make something more attractive by the addition of decorative details or features, man. You know, so it's basically a lie. He threw in there. He decided to twist the truth to make it more attractive to his readers. All right, Rip Van Winkle. So it says, where he felt it necessary to embellish the facts, so twist the facts, to make the story more interesting along the way. He took a jab at the church and the supposed errors in the Bible. See that he took a shot at the Bible, man. These are all pagan philosophy to attack the scriptures. Others took up his story with gusto to bolster their own attacks on the truth. Supposed war against science. such as John Draper's History of the Conflict Between Religion and Science. Sadly, some Christians in the 1800s chose to adopt the flat earth myth and push it as truth. Isn't Divine Prospect, isn't he one of them people that adopted that theory? And now he's pushing it as truth, man. All right. I don't subscribe to that, but I try to harmonize with it. What the hell, man? They push it as truth. The primary instigator in the flat earth movement was Samuel Robotham, 1816 to 1884, man. All right. So yeah, you can go on and on. This has been a battle. Robotham then combined this argument with his own hyper-literal interpretations of certain Bible passages. He lectured and even wrote a book promoting his ideas. His work sparked so much interest that by the time of his death in 1884, he had quite a following with flat earth organizations around the world, around the globe. Around the globe. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna end it on that point, man. But you can do your research. You're gonna see this. This has been an ongoing battle ever since the ancient times. All right, I'm gonna play this video real quick, and yeah, man. This guy Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of the top scientists in America. Him and Bill Nye, the science guy, they hate that whole, they hate that flat Earth theory, man. They hate it. Especially when Bill Nye, the science guy, he's sitting there looking at a giant telescope all the time, pointing at the Earth. And he said, yo, anybody that doesn't believe him, they can come up there to the space station and they can actually look at the Earth and see that it's round and the globe. He's like, anybody that does it, like anybody. He was talking to people like B.O.B., the rapper, right? And B.O.B. Made a diss record to this guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson, saying, yeah, man, flatline. Basically saying, pushing his flat earth theory. So Neil deGrasse Tyson came on this show right here, and he responded. All right, so let's listen to his response.
Thing is not okay. This BS about the earth being flat is getting out of control. Can you please help us?
All right, hold my sandwich.
Oh, sure. Okay,
sorry.
Here, you take that. Here, you ain't.
Yeah, roll the sleeves.
All right, listen, B.O.B., once and for all.
Yeah, listen, Divine Prospect.
Earth looks flat because, one, you're not far enough away at your size. Two, your size isn't large enough relative to Earth to notice any curvature at all. It's a fundamental fact of calculus and non-Euclidean geometry. Small sections of large curved surfaces will always look flat to little creatures that crawl upon it. But this whole thing is just a symptom of a larger problem. There's a growing anti-intellectual strain in this country.
It's a symptom of a larger problem. And that is so true, man. All right. He says it's a symptom of a larger problem. That's right, man. People like Divine Prospect, it shows a chink in their armor, and it shows that their whole doctrine is off. You judge a tree by the fruit that it bears, man. If you walk up to a tree and you see one apple on it, you know that that's an apple tree. You ain't gonna think it's an orange tree. You only need to see one apple. If you see the apples and see that they're all rotten, you're gonna see that the whole tree is rotten, most likely at the root. All right. If you see the tree not growing any fruit at all, you know that it's not getting any water. The water being the wisdom. All right. So, and that's right, man. So it's a symptom of a bigger problem. Matthew 6:22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. See that? So if you're focusing on the truth, you're focusing on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, not calling yourself divine prospect like you the Messiah, not calling yourself divine prospect like you're the only elect on the damn earth, when the scriptures clearly say it's going to be 144,000 and the 1/3, men, women, and children. You know? So he's going off, man, completely. I don't care if he's doing it sincerity or not. All of it is off. He's sincerely wrong. All right? Flat out wrong. But if thine eye be evil, see, you got one little chink of evil in it, bad doctrine. But if thine eye be evil, the whole body shall be full of darkness. So anybody that follows him and his whole doctrine is full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? Just a speck of it. How great is it? His whole being is enveloped in that darkness. See that? So that's what Neil deGrasse Tyson's saying, man. This is a symptom of a bigger problem. All right? Isaiah 8:20. To the law and to the testimony. See, it's about the law and the testimony. If you catch him there, he going to go off there as well. See that? The flat earth is a sign that they're completely off. And he's probably not teaching about the MOTB. You know, a lot of things, man. He probably, I believe he's not teaching the Lord's name, Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh, he's teaching some other name, most likely. To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. All right. See that's what this is showing. It's a symptom that he has no light in him, man. I don't care what nobody say. You can do it in sincerity. You can be cool with people. Bottom line, he's going off. All right. Period, man. It's only one way to worship the Lord, and that's with the truth. John 4:23. But the hour cometh, and now is, right now as well, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit, all right, and in truth, man. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So you got to deal with the truth, man. You know, you got to be spiritually minded. Think about the prophecies in the kingdom and what the Lord was speaking to us spiritually. Yahweh Shai never came here telling us that the earth was flat. He said, everything that my Father have shown me and told me, I came to tell y'all. If it were not true, I would have told you. You know? See, this is all to prove that, like Apostle Tahar said, this year of the turn up. So even the false teachers are turning up, exposing themselves, man. 1 Corinthians 11:19. For there must be heresies among you. What's a heresy? A heresy is something that somebody made up, and then somebody echoes that same thought, and then it continues on, a lie, basically. For there must be also heresies among you, all right? Fables, something somebody made up, that they which are approved may be made manifest among you, all right? So the elect are going to be separated from that. You know, people shine their darkness. It helps people see the light that's being shined from others. You know, you see these people going off, and then you see the one teaching the truth, starting from Apostle Har on down. You say, oh yeah, they got the truth. You say, these guys, they don't have it. You can judge them by their fruits. All right, so they got to speak it out right now. ISUPK, IUIC, GOCC, Sakari, everybody's showing their hand right now, showing their bad fruit, showing their works to be nothing but darkness. All right, so 2 Peter 2:1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false prophets false teachers among you. And that's what he is. He's a false teacher, man. Who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, man. So they're privily bringing in damnable heresies because they think they know every damn thing. When they go to these schools, these universities, it says sharing privily means sharing in the knowledge of something secret or private. And that's what they came up with this shit at in these damn universities and these pagan schools and, secret societies. So it says what? But there were false prophets also among the people, see, in the ancient times, even as there shall be false teachers among you, right, in the modern times, who privily or privately shall bring in damnable heresies. Heresies is something that somebody made up, all right? And it's damnable, man, cause people to go off, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction, right? If you ask this man the Lord's name, he gonna tell you something else. He not gonna tell you Yahweh Shai. All right, so he's even most likely denying that Yahweh Shai. Because to deal with Yahweh Shai, you got to deal with what? The truth. To deal with Yahweh, you got to deal with the truth. So if they're denying the truth, they're denying the Creator. All right, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, so let's get back to this video real quick. All right, but I'm gonna read this real fast. Isaiah 9:16. It says, "For the leaders of this people caused them to err." See that? The Lord knew that people that follow them, follow their doctrine, they're gonna be led to that same destruction. All right, they going off, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So you see that? So yeah, let's get this real quick, man. So let's get back to Neil deGrasse Tyson rebuking B.O.B. and people like Divine Prospect.
It may be the beginning of the end of our informed democracy. Of course, in a free society, you can and should think whatever you want. And if you want to think the world is flat, go right ahead. But if you think the world is flat and you have influence over others, as would successful rappers or even presidential candidates, then being
or teachers like Divine Prospect
wrong becomes being harmful to the health, the wealth, and the security of our citizenry.
Then being wrong becomes detrimental and a destruction to our people, man.
Discovery and exploration got us out of the caves, and each generation benefits from what previous generations have learned. Isaac Newton, my man, said, if I have seen farther than others, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants. Get an amen. Woo. You stand on the shoulders of those who came before, you might just see far enough to realize the earth isn't flat. And by the way, this is called gravity.
Or spherical model? Excellent question. I don't subscribe to a flat earth model from today's perspective. However, the ancient worldview of how the world was shaped was a dome-shaped model, right? It was a circular flat earth, if you want to call it that, with a dome that covers it, right? That's how they looked at it. Even if you go to Bereshit chapter 1, where it talks about the firmament in the heavens, that is something that is hammered out or fixed into a particular position in almost of a dome-type structure. All right, so that's the worldview of them back then, and I understand that worldview. So when I dive into the text, I understand the text based on their perspective. However, when looking in contemporary times, I have a different perspective, and I try to find a way to harmonize the two, because you can do that.
Is the earth flat or round? It's round. Okay, now let's see. How do we go about proving that? Go to the seashore. Go to a seashore and figure out why you can't, if you live on the East Coast, figure out why you can't see Spain from the East Coast of North America. It looks like you might have a St. Louis hat on. I'm not sure. Just go to the middle of the Mississippi River and look south. Why can't you see the Louisiana? Why can't you see New Orleans? What's the problem there? Well, then climb a tower or go to the top of a hill or a mountain, and you'll see a little farther. But you will not see to the other side of the earth, places we know to exist. For example, I've been to London. I can tell you, other people have. I've been to Vancouver, British Columbia. And you cannot see Vancouver, British Columbia from Boise, Idaho, let alone from New York City or Toronto or what have you. Just start there. Then if you'd like, look at pictures from space where you see the Earth as a sphere. Those pictures are not faked. And I'll tell you, just if nothing else, here's why you can tell they're not faked.
Yeah, I seen one video, man. That dude, Bill Nye the Science Guy, he hates them. He hates those flat earthers, man. He trying to stay calm. That's why I'm laughing.
To create the paperwork that NASA has created in NASA in this one case, just the paperwork to send anything out in space, to send people into orbit or to send them to the moon. That amount of paperwork would make faking it prohibitively expensive. No one could afford to generate that much documentation. And the other thing, if you want to get into this, if you're really serious, if your friends are really serious, have them get on a boat or a ship and go out at sea, and you'll notice you can't see infinitely far. Furthermore, if you get into it enough, pick up a book about navigation or go online and learn about navigation. A very, very important thing you have to take into account when you try to navigate the ocean from a ship or a boat is how high you are off the sea surface. The higher you are off the sea surface, the farther you can see, the farther away the horizon is. Oh my. Now, this discovery that the world is round was made it was published in 1540. Now, I'm concerned it was Copernicus. I'm concerned it might have been 1530, but it was about then. It was in the 16th century that the Earth was shown to be a ball. But it was known to be a ball by a lot of other people before Copernicus in the Western world, what we now call the Western world, Western Hemisphere. The ancient Greeks noticed that from time to time, the Earth casts a shadow on the moon.
Right.
This is a lunar eclipse.
That's right.
Where the moon gets in the shadow of the Earth. The sunlight is being blocked by the Earth. The moon's on...
Right, and if it passed through, if it was flat, it would be nothing but a damn line on the moon. Damn dumbasses. It would be nothing... If it's a lunar eclipse, that's when the Earth passes between the sun and the moon, leaving a shadow of the Earth on the moon's surface. And it totally eclipses the moon. But if it was a flat Earth or a dome, it would be half shadow, or it'd be just a line of a shadow. Oh, man.
The far side of the Earth. And that shadow is always curved. And the only shape that always produces a curve, no matter what the orientation. That is to say, whether you're standing in Greece at night, or if you're standing then 12 hours later in Buenos Aires at night. The curve, the shadow is always curved. So the ancient Greeks knew that the Earth was a ball. They didn't know to the degree of the size of it, to the degree of precision we know now. And you guys, come on. Everybody watches newscasts. You all use mobile phones. You all see airplanes fly around. You all go to see Ed Sheeran in concert. One day in London, another day in Melbourne, Australia. This all depends on our fundamental understanding of the size of the Earth and its shape with extraordinary precision.
You get mad, look.
And if you want to get into it, the Earth isn't quite a sphere. It's a little its spin is a little stretched. It made it slightly oblate, as the saying goes. This is all susceptible to analysis, but spend some time learning about navigation. Tell your...
All right, man, there you have it. Those two top scientists telling his fools, man. It's like, but you listen to Divine Prospect, he talking about harmonizing the theory, the thought with the flat earthers, that it's a dome. And hey, yo, man, see? These dudes got to be exposed, man. You get these guys out of here. They are... Actually, they're doing their job. They're creating a stumbling block for the 2/3 to follow them. Isaiah 40:22. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. All right. And the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers. That's like looking at a plane. If you was on the ground looking up at a plane and it comes down close to you, that joint huge. But far away, it's tiny in the sky. But you know how big it is if you up close. That's how Yahweh is, man. He sit upon the circle of the earth. What's that? The firmament. All right, Rakwaya. All right, which would be something. It means expanse. All right, that's the Hebrew word for firmament. Now, Yahweh sits upon that. All right, this is footstool. You see that? Now, it makes us what? Even tinier. And us being so damn tiny, like grasshoppers, that makes the earth look flat wherever you go at. If you put a tiny ass ant or a flea on top of a basketball, that whole basketball gonna look like a fucking flat surface to it, so that it can just walk all the way around. Same thing with this earth. We're so tiny that everything looks flat. And you got these idiots talking about I think with the ancient Babylonians, they believed the earth was square or a cube. You know? But that would cut even with their little you can look at eclipse, lunar eclipse once again, and you'll see it's round. You look at the firmament, you see it, it's round. Now they say that's just a dome. But what happened when you go to China? China's on the other side of the earth. The firmament's still there. You coming back here to America or anywhere on this earth, the dome is still there all the way around. It's a sphere, man. Let's get one more precept. I'm gonna get Sirach real quick. All right, this is because you got the firmament, and then you have Sirach 43:11. Look upon the rainbow, and praise him that made it. For very beautiful is it, in the brightness thereof. It compasseth the heaven about with a glorious circle, and the hands of the Most High have bended it, man. So, all right, actually that's not the one I'm looking for. But yeah, man, we're three-dimensional beings. Everything is circular, square, triangle, rectangle, but it's cubes, all right? Or it's a sphere. And the earth is a sphere, man, just like the stars. Matter of fact, let me get this one. That's what I wanted. All right, right here. Wisdom of Solomon 13:2. All right, press the wrong button. But deemed either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the stars or the violent waters of the lights of the heaven to be God, right? So yeah, man, the circle of the stars, right? The stars are circle as well, but are they flat circles? No. What it means is they're spheres, man, spherical. All right. If you understand anything about air or the wind, all right, the swift air, as it said in the last scripture, the air goes around the earth, and we breathe in the same air, filtered, recycled air over and over again. All right, and and what controls it is the sun. The Most High uses the sun to control it. Is it going to heat up the air or cool down the air? This is Sirach 43:15. By his great power he maketh the clouds firm, and the hailstones are broken small. At his sight the mountains are shaken, and at his will the south wind bloweth. So the wind blows down to the south, and what you'll call a hurricane. And the noise of the thunder maketh the earth to tremble, so doeth the northern storm and the whirlwind. All right, so you have the cold up north and the snow. As the birds flying, he scattereth the snow, and the falling down thereof is as the lighting of grasshoppers. All right, so yeah, man. Verse 20, when the cold north wind bloweth and the water is congealed into ice, it abideth upon every gathering together of water. So that's just it, man. So the Most High controls that process of the wind and the air going around the earth as well. Up and down the earth, all around the earth. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 1:6. The wind goeth towards the south, right? And turneth about unto the north. See, it goes around the earth, man. Goes up towards the north. South Pole, North Pole. See, that's why you have such a thing, the North Pole and South Pole. it whirleth about continually. See, it keeps going around and around. And the wind returneth again according to its circuits. And the word circuits come from the word circular. All right, around. Keeps going over again. All right, so yeah, man. All right, I'm gonna end with this one because this is one of my favorite ones. It describes the. See, if they're saying it's a dome, it would be length and width. That's it. It would be height and width, but it would be no depth. This right here has. Watch this. If you say depth to it and you cut it into four, it would be what? 4 hemispheres. That's what you call the 4 corners of the earth. All right. The furthest ends of the earth. That's all it means. It doesn't mean it has 4 corners like a cube. All right. It is a 3-dimensional mass, which is the earth. It's a sphere, though. Okay. This is Sirach chapter 1, right after the prologue, verse 3. It says, "Who can find out the height of heaven?" What's that? The height of heaven. How high the firmament is. It's always there to show us to humble ourselves. It shows our thoughts compared to the Lord's thoughts. All right. How lowly we are. We're like grasshoppers compared to Him. Now that the firmament goes all the way around the earth. Okay, the height of heaven. In any country you're in, there's a firmament. All right. And if they say it's flat, well, you should be able to find the edge of the earth. They can't do it. You know. And if it was flat, it would have no height. And if it's a dome, it would have height, but you would be able to go to the edge of the earth, and they can't do it. All right, and it wouldn't have depth. Check this out. Who can find out the height of heaven and the breadth of the earth? What's the breadth of the earth? The width. How wide it is. All right, and you can't really. You know, you can measure it from a telescope, a camera in space, or something that can go around it, right? Who can find out the height of heaven, divine prospect, and the breadth of the earth, the width of the earth, right? So you can't do it. Show me the edge of the earth then. And the deep and wisdom, man, because the deep represents the depth. And what is that? All right, here you go. You know, that's what you get right there. The whole sphere, height, width, and depth. All right, that's how you have a north, east, west, and south. So with that, man, there, man, say, hey, whatever you do, don't follow this guy, man. He is a false prophet. I don't care how sincere he is, how many plaques, how many awards he's gotten, who he's taught. I don't care about none of that. His name is not Paleo Hebrew, divine prospect. He wearing a kufi on his head while he's teaching. You know, you can go on and on. He don't wear a garment when he teach. He don't go out into the streets and teach like the apostles taught. He's not following after the order of the elders, starting from Apostle Tahar on down, and you know, and the ones that they learn from. So who is this guy, man? You know, how is he the prospect that was called divine when he's divinely telling lies? You can't harmonize the truth with a lie. I want to harmonize the two today. This is 1 John 2:21. I have not written unto you because ye know not the truth, but because ye know it. All right, this is for the elect. All right, it's not about the people that can't get it. This is for the elect, the hopeful elect. It says what? And that no lie is of the truth. See that? So ain't no blending the two, man. You can't meet, right? He said what? No lie is of the truth, period. You can't say, well, we just want to harmonize the two. It says, this is James 3:11. Doeth a fountain. He's supposed to be a fountain, right? Calling himself somebody pouring out the water. Scripture say, out of that belly shall flow rivers of living water. That means truth. Not blending it with lies, man. Harmonizing it. There's no harmony there. That's off balance. The Lord said a false balance is an abomination to the Lord. All right. James 3:11. Doeth a fountain send forth at the same time sweet water and bitter? See, can you harmonize the two? Is that beneficial for the people? No. Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries? Right. You can't say I'm believing this pagan lie saying the earth is flat, but not really flat. It's more like a dome, and I'm going to harmonize the two thoughts. Like, it says, even a vine figs, so can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh. All right. Who is a wise man and endowed with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth, man. All right, so he's following a lot of people that were going against the truth, and he's carrying on that theory, so it can be exposed that in these last days that he's a false prophet, man. And the people that follow him, they're gonna be led to their destruction, and it is a symptom of a bigger underlying destroyed condition that this guy embodies, man, of what called false doctrine, false prophet, man, false teacher. You know, he doesn't go into the prophecies. The scriptures say the spirit of the Lord is the spirit of prophecy. And you watch his channel, he doesn't go into the prophecy. He's just doing a lot of talking, man. 2 Corinthians 6 and 14. Now, if you want to learn about the slave trade and all the entry level stuff, yeah, he'll tell you about that. But you can go to Esau's university and learn about that. You know, the slave trade. So that's nothing new. All right, 2 Corinthians 6 and 14. This dude talking about harmonizing lies, man, with what he calls the truth. You know, you can't harmonize the lies with the truth, man. The earth is round. You can't say, well, it's kind of round, so we're going to take the flat earth and we're going to put the roundness to it, and we're going to call it a dome. The wicked, man. He a demon, if you ask me. 14, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? Commune means to harmonize, basically, together. What harmony can light have with darkness? What harmony can the truth have with lies? And what concord have Yahushua with Belial? And what part have he that believeth with the infidel, man? So this guy here is like an infidel. And he follows Belial, which would be the devil, man. Because you ask him the Lord's name, he's not going to tell you Yahushua or Yahweh, the Father's name Yahweh. He's going to give you a whole long, laid out philosophy on how the Lord's name is not Yahushua. And behind that, he's going to tell you that the earth is kind of flat. It's a dome. So yeah, man, this is a rebuke on this guy, man. Divine, all right, the damn divine liar and false teacher. All right, the earth is not flat and the earth is not a damn dome. You know? So with that, I'm going to say shalom.